believe if we have gone for people like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli or any team in the T20 World Cup, if they've gone for experience, they want those experienced players to use their experience of having played in World Cups to deliver when it really matters. So I don't mind if certain players are out of form coming into the semi-finals, the finals, if they can play the defining innings in the semis or the knockout game or the finals to win the title. That's the kind of expectation you must have from your senior players. If a youngster comes to the fore, that's a bonus, like it happened with Pakistan in 1992 with Inzamam. It's basically the seniors, who have to make the major contribution, and that is the reason I guess selectors go for experience in T20 World Cups or just generally World Cups. We saw Surya batting down the order in the 50 overs World Cup, so India got a somewhat of an idea whether Surya would be okay at number 4, and India just wanted more and more of an impact player at every position down the order. And Rishabh Pant was unexpected. I didn't expect him to be batting at number 3, but what a brilliant move that has turned out to be on tricky pitches, starting from that game against Bangladesh when Samson and Rohit Sharma took some time to get used to the surface. Rishabh Pant came in and showed his class, and he's been India's best batter in this tournament so far on a very, very difficult pitch, and that is Rishabh Pant's class. And I'm glad that India have given him that number 3 position. That also makes sure, like in the World Cup, that you don't have 6 right-handers, and the first left-hander that India had in that 50th World Cup was Jadeja at number 7. Have to wait and see, because you're right. I mean, the hitting that we saw from Shivam Dube was on some of the flattest pitches in the world, and also a long league where one match is not like a lot doesn't hinge on one game. So the pressures of a World Cup are different. So we'll wait and see whether Shivam Dube is able to replicate what he did in the IPL against spinners here in this World Cup, because you're right, these pitches aren't going to be as easy to hit the spinner as it was on Indian pitches. So we'll have to wait and see whether Shivam Dube is able to upgrade his game against his power hitting against spinners. Because Kuldeep Yadav is that kind of a bowler who is actually, his career has always been about not playing every game that India plays. He's had gaps even when he's been in great form. Now the thing about pitches in the West Indies, if India come across a pitch that is a real turning pitch, then India might be happy having just finger spinners. Like when you play test series at home and when you have ranked turners, it's always Ashwin and Jadeja that India go with first. So that might suffice. Kuldeep Yadav's great strength is when there isn't much in the pitch, he'll extract more from that pitch than any other spinner. Plus, the kind of artistry that he has. So all those kind of bowlers have not seemed absolutely necessary, or their value hasn't been, used or hasn't been seen, because the pitches have had so much for the bowlers that all you've needed have been bowlers who can bowl accurately. I think it's a question best asked to the chairman of selectors. I've got no idea what their plans are. That is the two individuals that you're talking about, what their plans are, plus how the selection committee are going to be thinking on that matter. Plus, I think there is a fair bit left in this tournament as well before they start thinking on those lines. Even if Rohit Sharma has captained India in the 3 formats in the main marquee tournaments, India have had different captains in T20s and 50 overs, even test matches when Rohit Sharma wasn't available in South Africa, for example. K. Rahul captained then. So that has happened. But to answer your question, whether there is anybody who is a walk-in when it comes to all 3 formats, plus has leadership skills, I think Bumrah is an example. But I don't see one player playing every international game of the 3 formats of the calendar year. So you'll keep having different captains. But as I said, if at all you're looking for somebody now who has that ability, I'm not at all advocating that Bumrah should be captain and made captain for 3 formats. But when you ask me, would there be one player? There's already one player there. Even there, again, we've seen the rotation policy come into play. It's also happening with captains. It's happening with coaches. Rahul
Mm.
Dravid didn't coach each and every international match that India played in the last 2, 3 years. So he also had his break. So any new coach may also want to have some downtime, and he might be given that. Um, how will Gautam Gambhir be as India's coach when if he's appointed? If he's appointed, then I'll surely have my view on that.